I think you should introduce design everywhere because it gives you an upgrade on life.
Almost every single aspect of life includes design. You may think, well, what about sleeping? Your pillow is designed.
First, you have to plan out what you're making by drawing. And then during those few stages, you test it out. And if it doesn't work, go back to the drawing board and start over. Oh, wait, don't start over, but keep improving until you get something right.
My name is Jason Hubbard, and I teach STEM, kindergarten through 5th grade, and I teach 1,200 students in the course of 8 school days. Through Twitter conversations, I was able to be connected with Rory, and then Rory offered me the opportunity to take part in the project.
My name is Ida Lomeli. I'm the education specialist here at the Panther Branch for the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Fort Worth. We have children that come from low socioeconomic backgrounds. Parents are single parents. Some of them are working 2 jobs, and so the kids come here. They rely a lot on us being here as their support system in order to get through school, in order to be the positive role models for them.
So Baltimore Design School draws from all over the city, and the students ideally are students who are interested in not just fine arts but the idea of design, and with design comes a certain amount of the idea of social service.
6, 8, and 9 for the girls who have homework, report to the game room. 8 and 9 for the girls who do not have homework, report to gym.
And what do you think it means to design something?
I don't know, I really don't.
A lot of them, the main question is, what does design mean? They don't know. And explaining that can be difficult.
Design is to make.
Design thinking is when your mind is just floating around ideas and you're trying to come up with things creatively.
It's hard to explain. It's a deeper meaning to design than what other people think it is. Like the clothes we wear, the things we use, toothbrushes, that's all part of design. If we don't have that, we have nothing at all.
It's when you're thinking of somebody instead of you and you're designing for them.
You can look up the word design, and it does not say to draw or to paint. It says to create something.
Okay, so design thinking is, to me, it starts with really the ability to observe your environment and to ask questions and see, what's working and what isn't, and think about what would I like to know more about, what would I like to change, how might I do that, and from there you go into the definition of a problem and the examination of solutions and the testing and the improving and ultimately the final product, which one hopes does make a difference.
I think that it's design because you get to, I changed my mind. I think it's build because first you have to, I changed my mind again, design, okay, design.
One of the key things that I see young people struggle with in our world is the ability to problem solve creatively.
If you're faced with a conflict, how do you go about it? It's the same way with design. You have a problem, you need to solve it. The only way to solve that problem is to overcome it.
These are things that we have to really start young in a mind of a child to help them figure out how to problem solve. manage their own emotions, come up with creative solutions that have nothing to do with engineering. Nothing to do with engineering, but they are about how to manage our emotions, come up with creative solutions, manage through the process of being creative, use their imagination, come up with another idea that was not obvious from the beginning, and then be able to have great life skills that could serve them in any number of situations that have nothing to do with being a designer of any type.
So I think design thinking gives students a more active voice in their world and a more positive way to consider their future and how they might operate in the world as adults.
Growing up, you learn certain skills, but when you get out into the real world, even after you finish college or what have you, you don't have a particular, this is what you need to do. We've got to learn how to think. We've got to learn how to take care of how am I going to put food on my table? How am I going to pay those bills? How am I going to keep myself happy and still keep moving forward? So you've got a problem there. So you're going to design your life.
It just made me think a certain way now that I think now a lot. When I see things like, oh, a person need that, like, oh, we need this. Hey, it's there for a reason and someone created it.
The Extraordinaires Design Studio completely confirmed what I believe is important about design thinking and actually provided a really playful way to introduce design thinking to children.
Oh, how should I say this? Okay, so they'll have a problem and I'll start asking them, so what are you gonna do about this? They're like, I don't know, miss, but I'll figure it out.
Builders build for somebody else, and so they need to consider the needs of somebody else. So to teach young children how to think about somebody else and then the design process to think about how to design for somebody else is incredibly valuable.
It gives you a chance to understand other people, which could then branch out to actually having like better empathy skills.
It showed me to not design something for me, but design something for others, because I always like thinking of myself before others. But for like the first time ever, I like designed something for somebody else instead of me.
This has given me the best feeling I've ever had, because I felt like I could be really, really creative.
I like it a lot. I'm just gonna say that because it's fun to me. I like the design, I like to draw. It's difficult, but I like things to be difficult so I can work on it and make it better.
What I think the Extraordinaires introduces quite well is that no, design is a verb, that it's a process that you go through, and that, again, it is iterative, so you don't just come up with a solution. You're actually testing and improving and testing and improving, and I feel like design process is a really important understanding to have.
It makes my mind awesome.
And the students are ready to research, they're ready to share ideas, they're ready to think about what the world really needs because of this playful experience that we've had with the Extraordinaires. It has to come first before digging into those huge problems. And I think it unlocks potential so that we're ready to create solutions.
And it made me think, I want to do this when I grow up. I just want to be a designer.
Everyone should be introduced to design, period, because you don't know that star hasn't shined yet. And when it does, you can see it.
One last thing before I go. I have autism.
Okay. And what effect, how does that change how you play with the Extraordinaires?
It doesn't affect me at all.
So, why did you think it was important to tell me?
Because I have problems making friends. And also, when I get something wrong, I do giant fits and destroy everything.
Okay. Is that a challenge sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes I handle it.
You find it difficult?
Yes, a lot difficult.
And has it helped playing with the Extraordinaires?
Yes, it helped it. It helped to like give me a strategy to calm down, and plus, it makes me even have fun.
Wow. Thank you so much for telling me that.